Hello, everyone. Welcome into the DanceFit Hub. My name is Catherine Farfan-Selim. I am your virtual fitness coach. Welcome to another Thursday here in this wonderful group for women over 50. I'm so glad that you're here. We are already a whole week after our last challenge. So let me know in the comments if you participated in the challenge. How are you feeling this week after it's all done? I am having a kind of a no makeup chill day. Today's really one of my, I don't work as much on Thursdays. So yeah, I was just feeling like chilling out. Let me know if that's how you're feeling today, because I know here in Florida it was pretty rainy all day. Sun is just coming out, so I was kind of having a gloomy day. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you have been up to today. Are you also having a gloomy day? And yeah, how is it going for you? So I'm going to check here on my phone again who is joining live. And remember that these lives are every Thursday at 7 p.m. And if you're not able to join live, then you can request the replay by email. And if I have your email, then you should be getting it already. Okay, let's check this out. Make sure everybody can see and hear me. I've been having some technical issues all afternoon as well, so we shall see. Let me know in the comments who is here live with me. Bev, of course. I knew I can count on you, Bev. Bev, how are you feeling today? Let me know. We had some gloomy weather today. All right, so now that this challenge is over, we are back to the topics that you care about. How to lose weight, how to get stronger, why the things that you're doing right now aren't working. All of those nice, fun things, topics that we talk about, that's what we will be discussing today. So for today's topic, we're talking about something that almost, I want to say, not a lot of women talk about, but it affects your strength, it affects your balance, it affects your back, your hips, and your knees, and even how you walk every single day. So, we're talking about the most neglected body part after 50 years old. And I promise you, it is not what you think. So, with that, let's see in the comments what you think that it might be, which body part you think we are going to be discussing today. So let's see. Bev says, good day to chill and relax. Just about to hit 10K, did a bands class, errands, then enjoyed my book. Oh, that's a wonderful afternoon, Bev. Feeling great, even did my sit to stands while on my morning walk. Perfect, perfect. So Bev, let me know, what do you think, what body part do you think that we are discussing today? Let's see if she gets it right. Okay, so while I'm waiting for her answer, I want you all to stay with me. I mean, this is not like a sexy, sassy kind of topic, but it's definitely one that you have to listen to, because I know firsthand that a lot of you do have issues with your hips and your strength and your balance and your back and your knees, right? So stay with me, because this might be the missing piece that you didn't even realize your body was asking for. Okay, so let's see. So Bev says the brain. So it starts with a B. You're right. You're right. I'll let you think a little more on that, Bev. So let's take it back for a second. When I was younger, okay, and this is my personal story with this, but when I was younger, I wasn't really focused on, gaining muscle or being strong or any of those things, right? And I'm going to kind of throw it out there that I'm pretty sure that when you were younger, you weren't focused on like one thing, right? You were kind of like having fun and you were just happy to be thin and be able to wear whatever you wanted to, and everything looked fabulous on you, right? But there was actually one area that we kind of focused on from one era to the next, and it's gone, like it changes all the time, right? And that one area is the butt. What? I know. I can already feel what you're thinking already. So, when maybe when you were younger, you wanted it lifted, you wanted it round, you wanted it tight, and depending on the decade, it was either I want a small, tight little butt, or I want curves, or now we are living in the era of big, round, sometimes not even real butts, right? So for years, we've had this relationship with our body where we thought, okay, my glutes are about how they look. My butt cheeks are about how they look, right? But what happens is that as you get older, especially after 50, there's a little bit of a shift in that, right? You start caring less about how your butt looks in your jeans, in your pants, in your shorts. And now it's more about like, why does my back hurt? Why are my hips so tight? Why do my knees ache? Why do I feel weaker getting up from a chair, right? And so, what do we do now? Now we say, oh, okay, well, that's because I need to strengthen my legs. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought that too, right? Or how about I just need to walk more? Yes, I thought that also. I just need to build more strength, right? I need to tighten my core, my belly area, because that's really what's affecting it. But here's the truth. It's not just your legs. Okay? It's your glutes. And most women over 50, you're not using them correctly or at all. Okay, because now you don't care about them as much, right? So you're like, no, now I care about my knees. Now I care about my hips. Now, I've had several surgeries in my legs and I need to strengthen my legs. So the focus is kind of changing. But let me explain this in a simple way. Your glutes are not just there to make your jeans look good or to make your pants look good or to make your dress look good, right? And I used to kind of think that. I'm not going to lie. I was there too, right? But your glutes are actually your body's power center. Okay? They are responsible for supporting your lower back, keeping your hips nice and stable, and protecting your knees and helping you when you're walking, you're climbing, you're lifting, and you're balancing. But here's the problem, because of years of sitting, certain movement patterns that you've been doing and not activating them enough or properly, your glutes basically go offline. And when that happens, other parts of your body start doing the job. Okay, so it starts doing the job of the glutes. So, in other words, they're being recruited. Your other body parts are being recruited for a job they did not sign up for. That was not the job that they were given. And that's where the problems begin. So, think about it just physically, right? Your glutes are attached to your what areas? Your hip, your lower back, and your legs, right? So, if the glute isn't working, then the other body parts are going to come to the rescue. But again, they're signing up for a job that they were not hired for. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you ever feel tightness in your hips? So what does tightness in your hips feel like? Well, for me, It feels like if I'm sitting down, if I go to sit down, it kind of feels like pressure in my hips. Or if I go to stand up, there's a little bit of not pain, but just a little discomfort there. Or if I go to bend down, it just feels a little challenging, right? So there's a tightness in the hips. Um, Pain in your lower back. Pain in the lower back is one of those big ones. Everybody pretty much has had pain in their lower back. Weakness when you're standing up from a chair, right? So not only are you feeling tightness in your hips when you're standing up, but also feeling uneasy, right? Like not balanced, like wobbly, right? As you're standing up. And have your knees ever bothered you? I mean, yes, right? My knees, after, teaching a couple of classes a day, yeah, they're like, okay, thank you for doing that. And now leave me alone and let me rest, right? But maybe for some of you, you have inflammation going on in the knees, right? Because they're overworking. So let me know in the comments if that sounds like you. If you've ever had tightness in your hips, pain in your lower back, weakness in your legs when you're standing up from a chair, or maybe even your knees are bothering you. So let me know in the comments. I'm going to welcome Judy. Judy, welcome to the call. All right. Now, if any of this does sound like you, then there's a very, all caps, very good chance that your glutes are not doing their job. Okay. And now this is where it gets interesting. When your glutes are weak or inactive, your body compensates. Okay. So instead of using your glutes, you start using your lower back. You start using your hip flexors, those are in the hip area, and you start using your quads, which are the front of your legs, the top part. Okay. And those muscles, again, were not designed to take over. That was not the job that they were designed to do. Okay. When you were created, that was not the role for those body parts. So now they are getting overworked, they're tight, and they are strained. And that's when you start to feel the aches, the pains, the stiffness, and that unstable kind of feeling. And you're thinking, oh, well, getting old sucks, right? Or I'm just getting older. Like this is what's happening to my body. But that's not the full story. Your body is literally just out of balance because the body parts are doing somebody else's job, right? And they're not doing their job, or they're doing their job plus another job, really is what's happening. Okay. Think about it like in a restaurant, right? If there's a restaurant and the cook is also the bartender and also the host and also, doing the server, that's a lot of jobs for just one person. So you're doing the same thing to those body parts. Okay. Let me give you a real life example as well. Think about getting up from a chair. Seems simple, right? A lot of you did the sit to stands last week. You were like, yay, love them, so good. But if your glutes are not firing, that means if you're not feeling some type of burn in your booty cheeks, okay, to be nice and simple, where your glutes are, then you might be rocking forward to get back up. Okay, so think about it. Those of you that were trying the sit to stands, or if you've ever tried sit to stand without holding on to anything, are you rocking your body forward? Are you pushing on the chair or on your legs to stand? Are you pushing down to stand? And are you feeling any strain in your knees? Okay, but if you're feeling that, your glutes are not being fired up, right? But when your glutes are active and they're strong, then you can stand up smoothly and confidently. Like there's no pain going on. You don't need to hold on to anything, and you're just doing it with ease. That's power. That's activating the glutes. And that, of course, is independence for you because you don't need assistance. You don't need to hold on. You don't need to rock your body to give you the momentum to come up. And that, of course, is what we're trying to protect after 50. So let's talk about something important. And by the way, if anything is making of this is like, yes, that is me, that's happening to me, say me in the comments. Let me know. Now, let's talk about something that's really important. A lot of women think, well, I walk every day. That's enough. Like, Catherine, I understand what you're saying, but I love to walk, and that really, it's just enough. I'm good with that. Well, again, I'm going to say walking is great. It's a great habit. I love to walk. For me, it is my stress reliever. I like to be outside. I like to get a little vitamin D. I mean, I really like it. It's nice. It's peaceful. But walking alone does not fully activate your glutes, okay? Especially if you're taking shorter steps or not pushing through your hips. I mean, there's actually ways to walk. It's not like, oh, I know how to walk. No, believe it or not, some people walk incorrectly. Okay, so you can be super active and still have weak glutes. And for my friends out there that are like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to lose weight. I wish I didn't have all this bajunka in the back, right? I would be so much better without it. Doesn't matter, because even the skinniest person can have weak glutes. Okay, so that's why intentional activation and strengthening matters. I mean, I see this all the time where I work. I see very, very thin people that you're like, oh, I can imagine someone who's struggling with weight to see them and be like, gosh, like I wish I was like that thin. But I see these people and they're walking out of the room and they're so fragile. Like if the wind blew by, like they would be knocked down, right? So again, even the smallest person can still have glute issues. So what can you start doing? Okay, well, great. Now you get the concept, right? You need to strengthen your glutes. That's going to lead to you being more independent. So how can you do some simple things in the meantime, right? So start thinking about simple, squeezing your glutes. What? Yes, squeezing your glutes during movement. So when you stand up, squeeze. When you're walking, push through your heels and engage, squeeze. Okay, always trying to squeeze that muscle. Okay, the second way is going to be to add, of course, some glute exercises. And this really depends on your ability, your fitness level, what's going on with you as far as any pre-existing issues. But very simply, sit to stand is definitely one of the more simple exercises. You're going from a seated position to a standing position. Physical therapists do it. I mean, it's a very simple exercise, right? Without having to do anything on the floor or doing anything that might be super challenging for you. But aside from that, I mean, of course, there's other exercises like glute bridges, just squeezing the glutes, and doing other different exercises specific to the glute area. But again, you don't need anything fancy to get started. We're talking about just getting started. We're not saying, oh yeah, if you do sit to stand, if you do it every day, your glutes are gonna be, you're gonna have buns of steel. No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, I'm just saying you don't need anything fancy. You don't have to go like overboard. You just need to be consistent. You need to be aware that you even have booty cheeks, and then no matter how much skin is hanging off of those booty cheeks, there's still muscle there, and that muscle has to be developed. Okay. Then number 3 is going to be aware of your posture. Now, if you're over 50, you have to know that posture starts to dwindle down from 50s and on, right? So you now have to be aware of your posture. Posture is one of those things that you can actually fix. So unless you have any pre-existing issues with your spine or your back, but for the most part, posture is something, it's a skill that you can actually improve, right? So if you're leaning forward a lot or you're sitting for long periods of time, your glutes are basically on vacation. Okay? Nothing is happening with your glutes at all. Okay? So we need to wake them back up. You need to start to squeeze them a little more. If you're around the kitchen and you're cooking or you're doing something or you're doing chores or running errands, squeeze them. Every now and then, just squeeze them. It's okay. Now make sure that you're squeezing your glutes and that you're not doing like Kegel exercises. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about your booty cheeks in the back, those big muscles that are right there. So let me tell you something encouraging, okay? It is never too late to strengthen your glutes. Absolutely never. And I don't care who tells you that that's impossible, that you can't. I am here to tell you that it is very possible for you to strengthen your glutes. And I've worked with women 50, 60s, 70s, and even beyond, okay? And when they start to activate these muscles, they're like, OMG, I didn't even know that, I was weak in that, or that was causing my imbalance. Like I was falling over and I thought it was just like, okay, I just don't have good balance. I didn't realize that it was my glutes that were the weak part, or I was having problem with, walking for long periods of times. I didn't realize that it's my glutes, or I was having trouble getting up from my seat. I was feeling some pain in my hips and knees, and I thought it was that this whole time, but it was my glutes, right? So they feel so much stronger, they feel so much stable, more confident, and there's less pain, you guys. There's less pain going on in their body because now they've activated the muscle and the muscle has shown up for work, and they're like, I am here, my name is glute, I'm here to do my job, right? And everything else then just kind of happens from that. And that's what we want. We're not chasing the look anymore, right? We're not chasing that. I mean, the butt is the butt. The glutes are the glutes. But we don't care about the skin. The skin is going to be the skin. Whether you have a nice round big butt or a fat butt or a skinny butt or a non-existent butt, okay? We're not going to chase the look anymore. We're building what's behind that, what's in there, that muscle. We're building a body that's going to support your life for your remaining days. That's what we want. So if you've been constantly focusing on, oh, I only need to strengthen my legs, right? I need stronger legs, which, by the way, I hear a lot. I want you to shift your thinking today. I want you to think, no, I need to strengthen my glutes. That's the foundation that you need. That's what you need to strengthen. And it's not easy. It's not always comfortable. It definitely puts you outside of your comfort zone a lot of the time. You will feel a burn when you're doing it the right way. But that's what we want. We want to activate that muscle. All right. So, oh, hey, Barbara. Barbara's on too. Okay. So before we wrap up, because I was going to make it short today, I want to ask you, did anything that I shared today click for you? If it did, say yes. I want to make sure that I'm making sense and that some of my message is getting to you. And did you realize that maybe your back, your hip, or your knee issues might actually be related to your glutes? Maybe, right? I know this even for myself. So for a long time, my hips were not lying to me. They were on fire for like a while. And after working with a therapist and going through a few things, I realized it was my glutes. So I had to do a lot of glute work to strengthen my glutes to get rid of that pain. Okay. And believe it or not, in the beginning, I was like, no, I don't think that that's what it is. I was like fighting the therapist. I'm like, no, that's not what it is. And yes, sure enough, that's what it was. It was definitely that. Okay. So even, you know what a good test is too? If you're, I do this with my clients too, and this way it tells me a lot. When you do a consultation with me or we're doing an assessment, if I have you balance on one leg, I can tell right away if your glutes are strong or not. Okay, because you start doing this little shift thing, and that will tell me whether or not your glutes are strong. Okay, and most of the time, I'm gonna say most women, especially like I said, over 50 and in their 60s, more so, you start to, that's the first muscle that has a weakness. Everything else is pretty strong, even though they think it's not. But yep, it's usually the glutes. So if you want simple, fun ways to activate your glutes without having to spend your whole life in a gym exercising, right? That's exactly what I do inside my programs. Okay. And, you know, not only are you moving, not only are you strengthening, but you're doing it with me. We're doing it together. So that's super important because then you know that the exercises that I'm giving you are the ones that are actually targeted to those areas that we need to strengthen. Okay? Because fitness should feel good. You should feel good, even though there's like a whole burn time, right? And not everything is easy, but it should feel good. You should, at the end of the day, you should feel good about what you're doing and how you're doing it. All right? So, thank you so much for being here with me today. I know it was a quick one, but I wanted to mention it because it's a topic that's been coming up in some of my conversations with some of you after the challenge. So I wanted to just address it to make sure that you understood that there is a connection between your glutes and some of the areas that you may have issues with. So what I like to say is strong glutes, strong life. If you have strong glutes, life's going to be a piece of cake. If you don't, then it's not. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I see here, nope, didn't realize the right hips were glute related. Yes, the movement, the hips have loosened with movement. Yes, yeah. So you can definitely loosen up the hips with some movement. But really, the test is in your balance. That's what I'm going to say. So for those of you that are super active and you're like, yes, you know, I've gotten rid of some of the pain that I had, that's fabulous. But I'm telling you, the glutes are the one area, like by far, that everyone neglects. So make sure that you're giving your glutes a little attention. And if you don't know how to do that, definitely, like I said, book your consultation with me and we can talk about that. We can talk about what you're currently doing right now and if it's helping you to do what you want. So if the glutes are the area, you know, that you're looking to strengthen, let's talk about it. Let's see how that is. All right, everybody, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.